Picture this. You've spent weeks planning the perfect holiday dinner, made reservations at what's supposed to be a premium steakhouse, and when that $60 ribeye arrives, it's tougher than your uncle's political opinions and grayer than December skies. Americans will spend over $4 billion at steakhouse chains this holiday season alone. That's a lot of money riding on whether your steak melts in your mouth or bounces off your plate. By the end of this video, you'll discover which popular chains are serving up holiday disappointment at premium prices, which ones closed dozens of locations this year for shocking reasons, and the 3 steakhouses that actually deserve your hard-earned money. The U.S. steakhouse market hit over $23 billion in 2024, with holiday weeks accounting for the single biggest spike in reservations all year. Thanksgiving week alone sees a 67% increase in steakhouse bookings compared to regular weeks. Here's something that'll blow your mind. In 2024, major steakhouse chains closed over 150 locations nationwide. Outback Steakhouse alone shuttered 41 restaurants across 8 states. Sizzler filed for bankruptcy in 2020 and plummeted from over 700 locations to just 74 by 2025. Sirloin Stockade down to 8 locations after one Texas restaurant went viral on TikTok for alleged black mold and contaminated meat. Some of America's most recognizable steakhouse names are closing dozens of locations because customers simply stopped showing up. According to the American Customer Satisfaction Index for 2024 through 2025, several major steakhouse chains scored below 4.0 out of 5 on Google reviews. When you're paying $50 to $100 per person for a holiday meal, average doesn't cut it. The steakhouse industry has a dirty little secret. Not all USDA Choice beef is created equal. Some chains use the absolute lowest grade that can legally carry that label, meaning less marbling, less flavor, and a higher chance your steak tastes like shoe leather. Meanwhile, premium chains use USDA prime beef, the top 2% of all beef produced in America, with rich marbling that melts in your mouth. But here's where it gets really disturbing. LongHorn Steakhouse had a Shigella outbreak in Illinois with 66 confirmed cases traced back to a single location. That's not a fluke. That's a pattern of food safety failures at supposedly reputable chains. Let's talk about what USDA Choice actually means. When you see USDA Choice beef on a menu, here's what it actually guarantees. The beef has been inspected for safety and graded somewhere in the middle tier of quality. That's it. It doesn't specify which cuts they're using, whether cattle were pumped full of antibiotics, how long the beef was frozen, or whether they're using the top end of Choice or the absolute bottom end. The gap between low-quality USDA Choice and USDA Prime is massive. Prime beef has rich marbling throughout, those beautiful white fat streaks that make steak tender and flavorful. Low-quality Choice beef? Minimal marbling. Less fat means tougher texture, less flavor, and a much higher chance you'll be chewing longer than you'll be enjoying. Compare that vague nonsense to what premium chains tell you. Fleming's Prime Steakhouse proudly states, 100% USDA prime beef, sourced from family-run Midwest farms, aged in-house, finished at 1600 degrees. See the difference? One tells you exactly what you're eating. The other just says beef and hopes you don't ask questions. So, let me get this straight. The same company that owns Fleming's Prime Steakhouse, Bloomin Brands, also owns Outback Steakhouse. Fleming's serves USDA prime beef aged in-house and gets rave reviews. Outback serves USDA Choice beef using pre-made seasonings and got voted worst steak in America in a 2021 Mashed poll. Because nothing says we care about quality like making 2 completely different products under the same corporate umbrella and charging customers premium prices for both. According to a 2024 investigation by Chowhound, Outback Steakhouse closed 41 locations after years of declining quality complaints. The American Customer Satisfaction Index ranked Logan's Roadhouse at just 3.86, the lowest among all major chains surveyed. In October 2024, LongHorn Steakhouse suffered a Shigella outbreak that sickened 66 people at a single Illinois location. And here's where it gets absolutely insane. A former Sirloin Stockade manager in Corsicana, Texas, posted a TikTok video in August of 2024 showing alleged black mold in the kitchen. The health department immediately shut down the location. The chain is now down to just 8 locations nationwide. A Google reviewer from Round Rock, Texas wrote about Sirloin Stockade. It's time to close this horrible place. The steak was the size of a baby shoe and just as tough, salad bar items are spoiled. About Sizzler, one Yelp reviewer from Ontario, California said, "Back in the 90s, Sizzlers was great. Now you just get a small portion of steak. Save your money." On Reddit, a disappointed Outback customer posted, "The steak was the worst I've ever had. It was like rubber. Quality has nosedived." Another Reddit user summed it up. "Outback used to be the gold standard chain steakhouse. Now it's not worth going to for a good steak." Now let's talk about the STK Steakhouse, the review manipulation scandal. Here's where it gets really interesting. STK has over 4-star ratings online, but multiple customers on Reddit Boston reported that STK staff actively ask diners to leave 5-star reviews. A TripAdvisor reviewer from STK Orlando wrote, "We spent more than $4,000 as a 3 stars Michelin, but we had junk food." Another STK customer from Denver posted, "After paying over $500 for the meal, the floor manager asked us to vacate our table. We were shocked." STK Steakhouse employee rating on Glassdoor is 2.8 out of 5 stars. That's 24%. Below industry average revealed, "Disorganized, constantly changing menus with minimal communication. Will close business and not tell anyone until they show up to work." For STK specifically, the gap between inflated 4+ star ratings and actual customer experiences exposes a systematic problem. When restaurants ask customers to leave positive reviews, you can't trust the ratings. When dozens of people independently report $400+ bills for mediocre food, being asked to leave after paying $500 and loud nightclub atmosphere instead of fine dining, that's a failed business model hiding behind manipulated reviews. Here's what Outback Steakhouse officially says on their website. "Our steaks are aged, seasoned, and seared over a wood-fired grill for that signature flavor." Notice what they don't say. Which cuts of beef, what grade, where it's sourced, whether it's frozen, how it's aged, or what seasoned actually means. Let's talk about why they used low-quality choice instead of prime beef. USDA prime ribeye costs approximately $18 to $22 per pound wholesale. USDA choice ribeye costs approximately $11 to $15 per pound wholesale. Difference, $7 per pound savings. Across 670 Outback locations serving thousands of steaks weekly equals tens of millions in annual savings. So yeah, your holiday experience versus their bottom line. Guess which one wins? Between 2020 and 2024, the National Cattlemen's Beef Association spent over $8 million lobbying to prevent mandatory country of origin labeling and stricter antibiotic disclosure laws. Here's my favorite part. Bloomin Brands executives eat at Fleming's Prime Steakhouse while marketing USDA Choice beef to everyone else at Outback and closing 41 locations in 2024. They still had an overall revenue of $3.95 billion. So they're still making billions while customers complain about declining quality. That's maximizing profit margins by cutting quality and hoping you don't notice. Based on transparency, food safety records, closure patterns, and what customers are actually saying, here are the 5 steakhouse chains with the worst track records for holiday dining. At number 5 is Sizzler. They filed for bankruptcy in 2020, down from 700+ locations to just 74 by 2025. Known more for the salad bar than the actual steak. The chain never evolved past the all-you-can-eat buffet model that feels incredibly dated. One TripAdvisor reviewer from Kissimmee, Florida wrote, "Food quality was shocking. Mac and cheese was literally pasta and yellow water. No cheese flavor." At number 4 is Sirloin Stockade, down to just 8 locations nationwide with a 3-star review on Yelp. They have multiple negative reviews posted for different locations. One Yelper recently quoted, "It was the worst experience ever. First of all, it was overpriced. Secondly, the cashier was rude and forgot our senior discount." And another reviewer mentioned, "This place is one of the most unsanitary places I ever been before. We saw how the cooks play around with the food and don't use gloves at all. Half of the food is always cold, and we even saw a cockroach on the plates." Food Republic calls it out for appalling quality of the food, bad service, and depressing interiors. At number 3 is Logan's Roadhouse, scored 2.6 out of 5 on Yelp with over 14,000 reviews. With 130 locations, there's no excuse for this level of consistent failure. A Reddit user from Kentucky called it a disaster of a place. The meat tasted like a frozen cheap cut of steak you buy at Walmart. A Yelp reviewer recently rated the place at 1 star out of 5 on Yelp and mentioned that their steak didn't even taste like beef. My husband, a friend, and I each had a bite and it didn't even taste like a steak. We don't know what it was, but not beef. At number 2, we have STK Steakhouse, the review manipulation scandal. Here's the smoking gun. Reddit users exposed that STK has 14,000 reviews and 4.8 stars, despite being open only a year, with a new review almost every hour from new Google accounts that have 1 to 3 reviews total. They're always for 5 stars and mention the name of a specific employee. This is the most deceptive entry on our list because the ratings are systematically manipulated. One Reddit user wrote, "Anyone know what the deal with this place is? I've never seen such blatant review manipulation." Another confirmed, "It's odd that most of the 5-star reviews mention the server's name. Seems like a situation where they present a QR code and ask for the review." Reddit Boston is exposing the pattern. There's a new review almost every hour from new Google accounts that have 1 to 3 reviews total. Another Reddit user observed, "STK is almost universally awful in every location. Terribly slow service. Looks like a nightclub, feels like a nursing home." Another reviewer from TripAdvisor Orlando mentioned, "He didn't offer us the bread. The food took a long time to arrive and was cold. For a steakhouse, the quality of the meat is terrible." When a restaurant generates a new review almost every hour from new Google accounts, with employees' names mentioned, while Reddit users call it universally awful in every location, that tells you everything. The 4.8-star rating is a lie. The worst steakhouse on our list is Outback Steakhouse. Closed 41 locations in 2024, voted worst steak in America in 2021 mashed polls. Uses USDA Choice, not Prime, beef. The largest steakhouse chain by location count has been overtaken in sales by Texas Roadhouse and LongHorn because customers are fleeing. A recent feedback on Yelp from a regular customer in San Francisco confirmed that meat is 90% of the time overcooked and burnt. I've come to expect it from many nights of eating here. Not that it's acceptable, but it is what it is. Another Yelp reviewer mentioned, "Reason for our visit was the steak and lobster meal. Unavailable, as well as half of the menu was unavailable. So we went with steak and shrimp. Very small portion of steak. What a joke." A Reddit user added, "If you're trying to go somewhere for a steak that's going to be top of the line, this ain't it." Another Redditor posted, "Outback is to steak as Chili's is to hamburgers. It's generally boring. The gap between their marketing, premium Australian-themed steakhouse, and reality bottom-tier USDA choice beef, pre-made seasonings, 41 closures, is massive. When you're the largest chain but losing customers to competitors offering better value, that's a business that stopped caring about quality years ago." Now let's talk about the 3 steakhouse chains actually worth your holiday reservation. At number 3 is Mastro's Steakhouse. Founded in 1999 in Scottsdale, Arizona, Mastro's has built a reputation as one of America's premier steakhouse chains. They serve 28-day wet-aged USDA prime beef, cooked in a 1500-degree broiler, served sizzling hot on plates, heated to 450 degrees. Signature items include the bone-in filet and their famous warm butter cake dessert. Steaks range from $60 for a 6-ounce filet to $90 for a 22-ounce bone-in ribeye. Price point is $100 to $180 per person with sides and drinks. What makes Mastro's special is the live entertainment, sophisticated atmosphere with an energetic bar scene, and theatrical presentation with seafood towers served over dry ice. TripAdvisor reviews rave about the experience. The best, tastiest steak I have ever had in 47 years. And it's by far our favorite restaurant. The food is consistently amazing. The service is white glove quality, and the atmosphere combines fine dining with energy and entertainment. If you want a premium steakhouse experience with personality, Mastro's delivers. And standing strong at number 2 is Fleming's Prime Steakhouse and Wine Bar. It bridges the gap between fine dining and casual. Owned by the same parent company as Outback, Bloomin brands, but serves USDA prime beef instead of choice. Massive quality difference for a reasonable price increase. 100% USDA Prime, top 2% of all beef. Prime bone-in ribeye finished at 1600 degrees with hand-selected wine pairings for $70. Here's what customers say. Fleming's is my go-to. The quality is comparable to Ruth's Chris but more affordable. Why it's great. Specific cuts of USDA Prime beef, aged in-house, seasoned to order. Wine program curated by certified sommeliers. At number 1 we have the Capital Grille. If price is no object and you want the absolute best steakhouse chain experience for your holiday dinner, the Capital Grille delivers. 100% USDA Prime, dry-aged in-house for 18 to 24 days. Dry-aged porterhouse for 2 with truffle butter for $90, and $100 to $150 per person with sides and drinks. Here's what customers have to say. Capital Grille is phenomenal. The steak, service, and atmosphere are all top tier. Why Capital Grille is number 1? Specific dry-aged prime cuts, impeccable preparation, white tablecloth service, and near-perfect consistency across 72 locations. Some other notable mentions for quality steak are Ruth's Chris Steakhouse with a 3-course steak menu starting at $150. Perry's Steakhouse with seniors menu option, 3 courses for $39 before 6 p.m. daily. Texas Roadhouse with a budget option can have inconsistent quality based on reviews, but has fresh, never frozen USDA Choice and is best for casual dining when price matters most. LongHorn Steakhouse is the best budget option and offers fresh, never frozen USDA Choice. Now let's talk money. Mastro steak prices vary by location, and based on specific cuts, you can expect to pay from approximately $70 for a petite filet to over $200 for a large shareable steak. A 3-course dinner for 2 could cost anywhere between $200 to $500 depending on what you order. At Fleming's Prime Steakhouse, a prime ribeye can cost $70 with 2 sides for $24 and wine for $14. Tode cost is approximately $110 per person. At the Capital Grille, porterhouse for $2 $90 split-in equals cost $45 each, sides cost $30 total, and cocktails cost $32. Total cost is $76 per person. That cheap $30 steak at Outback cost you tough, overcooked meat that doesn't satisfy, long waits, inconsistent service, disappointing atmosphere. The better alternative, spend $45 at Texas Roadhouse or $65 at Fleming's and get actually delicious, properly cooked USDA Prime beef. For seniors, try Perry's Steakhouse as it offers a seniors menu option for just $39. That's USDA Prime beef with salad and dessert for less than most mid-tier chains charge for just the steak. Here's what you can do right now to ensure your holiday steakhouse dinner doesn't disappoint. If you've already booked at Outback, Logan's, Sizzler, Sirloin, Stockade, or STK, call and cancel. Ask these questions when booking. Do you serve USDA Prime or USDA Choice beef? Are your steaks fresh or frozen? Do you dry age your beef in-house? If they can't answer clearly, find another restaurant. Avoid Outback Steakhouse, Logan's Roadhouse, Sizzler, Sirloin, Stockade, or STK Steakhouse. Choose the Capital Grille, Fleming's Prime Steakhouse, Texas Roadhouse, Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, or Perry's Steakhouse. Make reservations early. Holidays and Christmas weeks are the busiest of the year. Popular steakhouses fill up weeks in advance. Bottom line, when you're planning dinners, those steakhouse chains that closed dozens of locations and faced food safety scandals aren't worth your time or money. You now know which premium chains are serving frozen USDA Choice beef while calling it special, and which ones actually deliver USDA Prime quality worth celebrating. The restaurant industry is counting on you staying in the dark about what you're really eating, but now you know better. Now you know the truth about steakhouses, and if you think steakhouses are hiding the truth, wait until you see what I uncovered about burger chains. I exposed the biggest lie in fast food, how 100% beef is just a loophole hiding frozen mystery meat and antibiotic-pumped cattle. That investigation is linked in the description below. If this investigation opened your eyes, smash that like button and subscribe for more menu truth food exposés. Drop a comment below with your steakhouse horror stories or tell us which restaurant scandal you want us to investigate next. Stay curious, stay skeptical, and above all, demand to know what's on your plate.